Yes, CLS Universe, we got a very special treat tonight. Dean Karnazes from the CLS Experience this week, the most prolific, iconic ultra marathoner, marathon runner, long distance runner planet Earth has to offer. You guys are loving the podcast episode. We're going to get nuts now. We're going to have a ton of fun. If you guys aren't already in the texting community, text the number 917-634-3796, Daily Inspiration. We're going to bring Dean on in just a second. I don't know what's wrong with my Instagram, but it won't let me see who's on the bottom of the screen, who's in the chats. It's a little strange, but all good. We're going to get Dean on. Andre in the house, Jesse, Alex, I see y'all. We're going to bring Dean on in just a second. We're going to get crazy. Anyone out there that likes fitness or running, this episode's for you. Big Dean, bringing you on right now. Let's get crazy. How's everyone doing tonight? Drop your state level in the chat. Dean!
Hey, hey, brother.
How you doing?
I'm well, man. How are you?
It's so good to see you, brother. We had such a good conversation on the podcast. It was just different. We got deep, and the audience is obsessed with it, loved it. And just the feedback, we had record downloads, which is super cool. We've had some big names on, so I'm not surprised, but it's so good to connect with you here again tonight.
Yeah, it's probably different material than a lot of your fans are used to, right?
Yes, that's right, exactly. And also, I was thinking, because if you recall, I was running the marathon, and we just ran the New York City Marathon last Sunday, and it was after surgery and a tumor and all that, but I got to the start line, and then I ended up running a PR 39, which is the fastest I ever ran. It was a really special fun day in New York City.
Unreal. I'm so happy to hear that. I was tracking on you, and I didn't know how it went, but I didn't know that was a PR either. So
Yeah.
on all those, it must have been an amazing day, just because back out and like the crowds there's still crowds along the street, right? It's like back to normal, kind of.
Dean, it was like a rock concert. It reminded me of like the end of Bohemian Rhapsody when Freddie Mercury's on stage. It was nuts. Everybody was out. It's the only day in Manhattan everybody's on the same page, right? People just positive, cheering people on. This is like the New York crowds, and I was inspired by you in our conversation to acknowledge you for that.
Yeah, no, I mean it's the greatest day. It's like even the cabbies are nice, right? Everyone's nice.
It's so true. And we're gonna dive right in tonight. You know, for me, I got into running a couple years back because I was so fascinated by how it was mental and how it's such a metaphor for life. I know you agree with the mindset aspect out of it. How much of running long distance do you think really is mindset?
You know, there's a race that I do called the Western States 100-mile endurance run, and they say you run the first 50 miles with your legs, and the next 50 miles with your mind. So it's so true. Yeah.
It's so incredible, and also it's like I've had some of the most accomplished runners ever on my show. Also, in addition to doing, and even Joe from Spartan, it's like nobody's exempt from the voices in the head. And as you get like longer in the race, and I haven't done 100 miles like you, but like the voices become demonic. Like there's just straight up evil, but you start to understand how to kind of deal with them. And it's also like a metaphor for life, right? In any arena, not just running, like whatever it is that you're doing, it's always you against the voice in your head.
Yeah, and it's I mean with regard to a race, I mean you can't control the competition, you can't control the weather. The only thing you can control is yourself, and that to me is you're self-reliant, and it really does come down to how you can overcome your shortcomings, because it's the only person you need to impress is the person you see in the mirror every morning, right?
That's it. Yeah. It's so true. And I love you always have the gems and the nuggets. One of the many reasons why I fell in love with your story. And obviously it's so cool that you have become friends and so forth. Your first book really lit a fire under me and it got me into running, which is super cool. But your last book, Runner's High, is pretty new. What's the deal with that one for the audience?
It's a little more introspective, that book. The Ultra Marathon Man, the book you read about, was kind of a coming of age book, learning about ultra marathoning, these people doing these insane things like running 100 miles nonstop. And, Runner's High is like, okay, a couple decades later, what's going on with this guy? Is he still holding up? Is he still passionate about it? Is he still, staying true to his mission and true to the man that he is? And if so, how? and hopefully it's an entertaining read. I think a lot of people pick it up and they don't know what to expect, and 6 hours later, they send me an email like, "Wow, that was a great ride. Like that was a cool story."
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm reading it right now. Go ahead and see. Should you go check out the book? Absolutely, 100%. Of course, anything that Dean has going on is obviously fire and so forth. Another thing that's cool, and a lot of the feedback from the episode was people were very interested when I asked you near the end about nutrition and how important that is to you. I think a lot of people don't have their nutrition down as organized as they probably should. How significant is that to you, Dean?
Yeah, I think nutrition's everything, and I think that it's individualized as well. When people ask me for nutritional advice, I say listen to everyone, follow no one, because you need to find what works best for you. I've optimized my diet by cutting out those foods that left me feeling lethargic, and kind of including more foods that left me feeling energetic. My diet, a lot of people think my diet's very restrictive. I like it. I like the foods I choose. Some people it might not work because they want more variety or different types of food. But I mean, I say if I can't catch it with my hands, pick it from a tree or dig it from the earth, I don't eat it.
That's awesome. But you weren't always like that, right? Because this is a pizza story and so forth. You used to not be as disciplined as you are now. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, people change. I think that's the that's the takeaway from me, because you're right. In my first book, I write about ordering a pizza. On a 200-mile run, I was like stranded in the middle of nowhere with no food, but I had a cell phone and a credit card, and I ordered this pizza. I had a guy deliver pizza to me roadside, but I don't eat pizza. Well, once in a while I eat pizza when I'm running 200 miles, but not.
200 miles. You're insane. I love to surround myself with people like you because you're out of your mind in the best way possible. And I respect it so much. And one of the cool stories about you that a lot of people are familiar with, and the people that weren't couldn't believe, is that you once ran 50 marathons, 50 days in 50 states. How the heck did that come about?
Yeah, man. I mean, I was at the Boston Marathon, and I went to listen to a guy who was giving a talk, and he was like part of the 50 state club. And I said, "What's that?" He's like, "Well, I ran a marathon in every state of the U.S." I didn't even know every state had a marathon, but I'm like, "Wow, that's amazing. How long did it take?" And he's like, "It took me 8.5 years to finish it." And I'm like, I might not be around in 8.5 years. Let's see if I could do it back to back in 50 days. And, it'd never been done. People are like, "There's just no friggin' way this is possible." And I thought the only way to find out is to try. So, I finished actually with the New York City Marathon. That was, yeah.
And what a perfect one to be done, right? When the crowd can help elevate a little bit.
Yeah, it was amazing. I finished in 3 hours and 30 seconds. And I came in right behind. It was the year Lance Armstrong ran the marathon. I was right next to Lance, and one of these race officials comes running over to me. He's like, "My God, I can't believe you ran New York in 3 hours flat, like with 49 days prior on your legs of running marathon. Like, were you trying to beat Lance?" And I'm like, "No, I wasn't racing Lance. I was just, I had no idea I'd be anywhere near Lance. The only guy I was trying to beat is P. Diddy."
He ran back there?
He had all these gold chains on. He's surrounded by this posse. I'm like, if P. Diddy beats me, I'm going to be so humiliated. But I slipped in ahead of him, so all was good.
He probably ran north of 4 hours.
No, he ran sub-4.
He did?
Yeah, no, total respect. I mean, that was a joke. I mean, total respect. Yeah, he was like, I think he was like, someone's going to Google it and find out I'm wrong, but I think he was like 3:58 or something.
That's nice. And for the audience listening, you can pull it up real quick. I don't know what Diddy ran the marathon in, but that's a good. What did Lance run it in?
He was right. Like, we were about 10 seconds apart, I think. He was like 2:59 something or other.
Yeah. What a beast. It's so crazy. Like, when you start running marathons,
I think he got the medal stripped away because it was before, they found out what he was doing. Yeah.
oh, okay, understood. Yeah. It's crazy. Like, when you start running marathons, don't you just have so much respect for anyone that just signs up for one? Like, obviously you want to do well, but like, what it's like. You're a gladiator stepping into an arena. It hurts. Like, again, like anyone that just signs up for one, so much respect for them.
I think everyone should have to run a marathon like it's a rite of passage because, as you know, it's humbleizing, right?
100%.
Completely humbleizing. It teaches you humility, and it teaches you that you're better than you think you are, and you can go further than you think you can. I mean, the person who crosses the finish line is a different individual than the one standing on the starting line.
No doubt.
Yeah, it's a great life lesson, and it translates outside of running, to everything, to relationships, to business, to life. Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. And it's so interesting. There's a quote like everything you wanted to learn stuff you'll find out in 26.2 miles. And you say like you'll find out some really good stuff about you, but also you might find out the opposite, right? You might find out that you're a little softer than you'd like to admit, but you could work on it. So, for example, the first marathon I ran, I had just got into running, New York City. I ran 4:12, and I was so mad because I wanted to break four, and I just knew in my heart of hearts after between me and you, like I left a little out, like in the tank. I didn't give it everything. Like I was feeling stuff I had never felt before. I became obsessed with breaking four. I ran 3:39, but it'll humble you, and that's the beauty of it, right? Because how do you respond to that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that I've said this that the marathon builds character, but it also reveals character, and you just highlighted that perfectly. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome, brother. What do you got going on right now that's super exciting? How can the audience support it, and how can I?
Uh, Come on out to California. I've got a 100K coming up this weekend. So
And for the audience that's not familiar, how far is 100K?
it's 62 miles. So it's not it's, I mean, it's not a walk in the park, but it's not, for me, it's not really pushing it that far. But just track on me. Just Google my name, and I'm globetrotting again. So that feels really good. Like I just got back from running 10 marathons in 10 days in Greece. I ran 1,000 miles in Australia before that. So I'm back on the road. It feels so good.
It does. And I was just at a speaking gig. The world's opening up and really beautiful thing. And the audience out, I understand not everyone's into fitness, but like Dean said earlier in the conversation, like, everybody should try it sometime or do something along the lines that really challenges you because it'll build character.
Yeah, I mean, you want to get outside of your comfort zone, sign up for a race.
Yeah.
It'll put you there, and I don't know. There's something about running that's so quantitative, right? I mean, if you run a 5K, you sign up for 10K. If you run a 10K, maybe try a half marathon. You complete a half marathon. Damn it, I'm going to try a marathon. You do a marathon, then next step's an ultra.
That's it. I love you, but let's exchange numbers. I'm going to DM you. I want to go for a run with you. Do you ever come out to New York?
Yeah, I'm overdue, man. I am long overdue. I mean, I've run New York City maybe 13 or 14 times the marathon, and I missed the hell out of it. And I'll certainly be there next year, but maybe in May I might do another race in a place called Bear Mountain. I don't know if you ever get out to Bear Mountain. It's not far from Manhattan, and it's a good little race course out there.
Okay. And what about Chicago? That's a good one too?
Chicago's a great marathon. It goes right through Greektown. And I always I have like these little things I do, these little quirky things. But there's like this Greek pastry shop right on the corner at about mile 18. And I always like put a couple bucks in my pocket and I go grab a piece of baklava, those Greek pastries. I run in off the race course. I'm all sweaty. I got my race number. I'm like, give me some baklava. And
That's awesome.
But New York's, I mean, Chicago's one of my favorite. Yeah.
And it's a little bit flatter, right?
Flatter. It's got a totally different feel than New York. You're going through the boroughs. It's you got to try it. It's like it's a different experience altogether. Come out here and
Yeah.
run the Napa Valley Marathon with me as well. Come out and check that out. They serve wine at the aid station starting at mile 20.
When is that?
March.
Ooh, well, we're gonna roll it out. So much love and respect for you, brother. The best part about this is our relationship is just getting started. You inspire me. You inspire millions who listen to CLS Experience podcast. You're a personal favorite of them. Let's do some more things together in addition to catching up a run. Thank you so much for your time as always, Dean.
Love, brother. You be well. Be strong. Congrats, too. Congrats on last weekend. It's
Thank
huge.
you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm going to let that one sink. Take care, bye. So good to see you. Love that guy so much. Guys. If you haven't listened to the episode yet on the sales experience, what are you waiting for? Go check it out. And just all the things. Go follow Dean, read his book, see what he's got up to. So inspiring. And he's just got a ton of contagious, positive energy. Everything that he's about is about bettering himself and challenging himself. And it's just a great ride. Go check out what Dean's got going on. To CLN's audience, I love you guys so much. If you're not in the texting community, text the number 917-634-3796. The hottest thing going on planet Earth right now, the CLS membership. We have 115 strong. It's not a community. It's a family. Support, love, growth, guest speakers, all of it. Love you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. Have an unbelievable night.